Good morning and welcome to Nature Watch. Nature Watch is sponsored by Waddell's Nursery Floral Garden and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millham Road. And now your host of Nature Watch, Gary Miller.
Good morning.
Good morning. Did you see that UConn South Carolina game?
Yeah, actually I did.
Oh my goodness. Wow. All of that happened for nothing because Gene had a fit.
Yes.
Yeah, by the way, that torn uniform was after one of the UConn players missed a shot. It was out of scene from, the UConn head coach couldn't see her, but she, in frustration, and it showed on replay, just ripped that uniform apart, made that tear. And, people, I swear.
Oh, yeah. Drama.
Drama. Well, it is Final Four. It's a big deal.
True.
And UConn, as far as women's basketball goes, UConn, they're one of the blue bloods, so to speak. So there you go. And so South Carolina.
So UCLA in for the first time, so it'd be nice.
Yeah, that's weird because the men way back in the day used to win them all. John Wooden, you know.
That's a few years ago.
That most certainly is. Okay.
So a little wet out there this morning. I made a comment at the gym when I came in that my truck got washed off on the way in because I went through quite a downpour north of Schoolcraft. So.
You almost need a boat to park in our parking lot. Some spots in our parking lot like to collect water when it rains.
Yes, I parked in one of those.
And it's doing that.
I parked in one of those, yes. A little puddle out there. I looked at it as a moat around my truck, so it's a safety moat.
Oh, by the way, since you're down in that area, there is a flood warning. It starts at about 11 this morning and will run until Tuesday evening for the Portage River down near Vicksburg. Back in the day, we used to say that all the time, and then it became really dry around here.
Yes.
The last few years, and not a mention of the Portage River at all. Now we're back to that again.
Most times if there is a flood warning out in Kalamazoo County, that's the first place because there's some low areas along the river.
Yeah.
And actually the river is just west of my property.
Okay.
And the gauge is actually about half a mile south of there, so I know where the gauge is, and it floods a little bit. Most of it's in some wooded areas. I know when you get a little bit further north, up towards Indian Lake, there's some houses that are very close to the river and they're low, and they get a little bit of flooding. So, but we're going to probably see lots of flooding. I see just south of us in the southern tier of counties and in northern Indiana, they have lots of flood watch out because we've got a lot of rain here in the last few days.
Uh-huh.
And we needed the moisture. Good news is that we are still second best in the drought monitor as far as no drought conditions.
I don't think there's drought conditions anywhere in the state of Michigan now.
And that was as of Tuesday morning.
Right.
So actually, we are just over 98% of the state is in a no drought condition, like at 98.02%. North Dakota is at like 98.22%. No drought conditions. So we're almost winning over North Dakota, which is fantastic because it's been a long time since we've been there. But if you look at the drought monitor map, oh my goodness. We are very lucky that we're in that wet of a condition, if you will.
Yeah, you want to go out west? Colorado is hurting, and they've had a warm winter. Their snow is off the mountains a lot. That snow's already gone.
Snowpack is low all over out west, and so they're actually very concerned because it is very, very dry. They're in the extreme drought conditions some spots, actually quite a few spots. And all over, even down south, southeastern states, there's a lot of very dry areas. Mm-hmm. So a lot of color on that map right now, not the color white.
No.
So be nice if the rain was spread out a little more.
Yeah.
But you can't control it, so
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You also can't control when your operator takes the day off. Steve's not here this morning, but that's fine. We're still going to wing it, and I will give you heads up. The 9 o'clock over the garden fence is pre-recorded. Okay, so we did that last week. All right, I'm just warning you ahead of time. So if you call after 9, you can talk to me, but you won't be talking to Andy. And you don't want to ask me anything about gardening, okay? I'm still learning
you can, but he's
myself.
not going to give you a good answer most times.
Yeah. I don't know. If you're desperate, maybe you can email naturewatch@waddell's.com sometime this weekend and ask Gary.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. See?
So we're still experiencing that roller coaster of temperatures yet to come in the forecast. So I made some comment the other day to some friends and coworkers. So are we in fifth false spring for this year? It seems like it because it goes up and down. And Scott Larson had that 4-letter S word in his forecast. I think most of that's going to be north.
Yep.
Looking at the
and tonight instead of tomorrow daytime.
Yeah, but if you look at the forecast, we've got lows Monday night, Tuesday morning. It looks like the forecast low is going to be near 20 degrees, 20, 21, 22. Very, very cold. So if you have those plants that, like lilacs, some of those early bloomers, so the rhododendrons, if those blooms have started swelling, or you've purchased some plants already and they have some buds on them, you may want to cover those. And actually it looks like Tuesday night, Wednesday morning is going to be in the 20s too. So another cold spell coming this way.
Shut up.
If the forecast is correct. Oh my God, yeah, just seemed like wait a couple of days and we got some nice weather. The temperatures were nice for a couple of days this last week because you didn't have to wear a jacket at all. It was very comfortable. And actually it was sort of humid warm, almost too humid and warm. Not used to it this time of year.
Well, low to mid 30s is our average low. So when you're talking 20s, that's only 10 degrees off. I should just shut my mouth, say, okay, it's going to do that once.
But we've had all that warm weather and the plants have really started coming out of dormancy.
Yeah, so we do not want to get into any repeated frost situations, probably.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at this point.
No, absolutely
And we've
not.
experienced that in the past, so yeah, it'd be interesting. So this last week, I actually saw, first part of the week, I saw a belted kingfisher. Now, kingfishers can stay around this area in the wintertime. It's not uncommon. Don't see them very often because if there's ice around, they can't get their food, i.e. fish. And so they will move south where there's open water, or they'll stay around open water. And so it was actually nice to see. We may talk about them here in another couple of weeks or so, just because they're very unique. And also had some mallards waddling across the road earlier in the week. Twice this week I had to slow down and almost stop for turkeys crossing the road. I'm guessing they went to visit the chicken that crossed the road, but just saying. Yesterday morning we had a vulture. I think there were probably a couple others coming in to join the feast. And a turkey vulture sitting in one of our trees at the side yard, I think eyeing the dead deer carcass that's there. That at some point, I don't know if it got hit during the winter or so, but when the snow melted, we had a deer carcass out there, and it was at the condition and didn't have a chance to drag it off back in the back, so maybe the coyotes and other vultures and critters would clean it up. And so now it's at the point where you can't drag it away very easily. So I thought, well, let's let the vultures clean it up.
Yeah. Well, I told you a story about a month ago about when everything started melting about that deer that was frozen in a snowbank,
Yes.
with its legs straight up. Okay. We're talking nature, and we have dad jokes to go with it as well. 269-382.
Lots of dad jokes.
4280. 80373 is our text number if you want to join us as well. But now we want you to call because we do have trivia. 269-382-4280. First correct answer to Gary's question will win a $20 gift card to Woodhouse. Again, if you've won within the last 30 days, let's let somebody else win. Gary.
So my question today is, I keep going by the beaver carcass that is west of Vicksburg. It's still there, a little flatter now, and sort of with the temperatures getting sort of decaying away, but you can still see that flat tail. And actually looking at those ditches near Angels Crossing, I think there may be some more beaver activity going on.
Oh.
Just like they may be starting to try to build another dam. We'll see. So anyway, my question is about beavers today.
Okay.
So when beavers when beavers construct their dams, what do they use to carry and pack the mud?
Oh, there you go.
So this is actually an interesting question because most people think that they do it a certain way, and that may not be true.
Okay, what is that question again?
So when beavers construct their dams, what do they use to carry and pack the mud on those dams?
269-382-4280 if you want to take a shot at this. Again, if you've won within the last 30 days, let's let somebody else play. So there you go.
So we've had that wonderful extreme weather, and we keep getting all sorts of things. We experienced tornado warnings again Thursday night. One of my brothers texted me and said, "You got a tornado warning just west of you." And we already were aware of it, and I said, "Yeah, but too close for comfort."
Yep, there you go. WKZO, good morning. Who's this?
Good morning. This is Judy.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, Judy.
Okay, so we're talking beavers and we're talking dams.
Yes.
Yes.
And the question is?
So when beavers construct their dams, what do they use to carry and pack the mud?
They carry it with their front paws.
That is
And
correct.
they pack it up with their face, with their nose.
Yeah, so actually that's correct. They use their paws and they use their nose to pack that mud in place.
There we go.
They're actually pretty dexterous with those front limbs.
Yeah.
Most people think with that flat tail that beavers will use that to pack the mud, but they do not.
Oh.
So Judy wins the gift card today, and
Woohoo!
nice talking to Judy again. So are you observing anything, Judy, as far as birds or anything wildlife going on in your area?
The goldfinches have turned much brighter gold,
Yes, I've noticed
And-
that.
and we don't have as many juncos.
Yeah, they've gone north. The juncos actually go north to nest. They
Yeah.
come south. This is their south. And I still see one or two hanging around, but most of them have headed north. And I did notice so most birds go through a molt at some point, and they shed some of those feathers. Finches tend to be more dull-colored in the wintertime. And the males want to be the goldfinches want to be that bright yellow gold in the spring to impress the ladies. And they're looking very, very bright now.
Wow.
We made up some new nectar and actually put the hummingbird feeder out.
Yeah, so actually the hummingbirds are coming close. They've actually sighted some in southern Illinois and southern Indiana, just a couple of some of those scouts. But they're definitely a majority of them have gone through Tennessee. Tennessee's been pretty thick with them. Quite a few spotted in Kentucky. So they're heading this way. Looking at the bird migration maps and the forecast maps, last night and tonight, a little bit less tonight than last night as far as bird migration, not big numbers. And then tomorrow night and Monday night, the forecast is a lot less. And that's because of the weather. We can thank the weather for that the birds are going to say, we're not going to go any further north because they got that winter stuff going on.
Right.
Understood. We might have to bring in the feeder and revamp it for.
You may have to
another
because it
10
may
days.
freeze a couple of those nights.
Okay, good question. I'm glad you brought that up, Judy. Way to go.
Yeah, so that
And the
definitely if you
red-
have those feeders out. I think actually we're early, so we haven't seen much more activity from the Baltimore Orioles.
Or their baseball team.
Yeah, or the barn swallows. Not a whole lot more activity either. But there was, I did note, in Van Buren County in the rare bird alerts in Michigan this last week, someone cited and confirmed sighting of a rough-winged swallow. So swallows a lot of times will migrate in groups together, the different species of swallows. And with some of those rare birds, they usually have rare bird alerts, so they catch the migration birds coming through. And so the swallows will be coming soon too. But Orioles, we're still about that month away from most of those birds showing up. Usually it's that first part of May. But with the way the weather's been, if we go back to warm temperatures again and it stays fairly consistent, we might see those birds come north faster. Monarchs are on the move too. So the monarchs have been moving north. It'll be interesting to see if we can get those monarchs to come up this way because they actually will have to wait for flowers. So they have food. They need that nectar those adults need. So actually they've spotted a few again in southern Illinois and Indiana. There have been quite a few spotted in Tennessee also. So their birds are heading this way. And I did note there was also, the rare bird alert, over in Jackson County, a purple martin was sighted this week. So I'm guessing a scout. Actually, the comments that they had were that there were several of them. So I'm guessing there's some of the scouts coming back to scout out their houses and that. And it was actually, they said it was a house that had a lot of activity.
We love purple martins, and we're very sad that their population has decreased over the years.
Yes, it has. Actually, the martins are in that same swallow family, so they eat a lot of insects. So they're fantastic birds to have around, especially when you're near waterfronts, and that's where they like to nest because they like to fly over the bodies of water. And they eat all those little flying insects, especially a lot of those little mosquito things that fly around.
Mosquito things. No, they're mosquitoes.
Yeah. So it's nice to have them around. It's actually fun to watch them fly around too, and they're very social birds because they usually will nest in those. If you put a purple martin house out and keep the sparrows and everybody else out, the purple martins will actually nest in there.
We love we've had martin houses in other states that we've lived in, and their dawn song is just beautiful.
But I will note that you don't have to have a body of water nearby, because they will just fly over yards and fields and that too.
Yeah.
I know quite a few folks have them. My parents used to have several houses out, and we would get purple martins, and we had no bodies of water in our farm except the cattle water tank. And I don't think they flew over that very much, because the barn swallows usually kept the insects down around those.
Yeah.
Very distinctive calls.
Yes, they are.
There you go. Okay, Judy, big winner. And also gave us a little information, too. I love it.
Yes.
Can you hold on the line, Judy?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. I'll talk to you over the break. We'll be back in just a few here on Nature Watch, 590, 106.9 FM, WKZO.
The staff and family at Waddell's Nursery Florist and Garden Center want to thank all of you in the Kalamazoo area who have made Waddell's your first choice for plants, flowers, and garden supplies for the past 80 years. Want to know which plants will do best in your landscape? Just ask, and Waddell's friendly staff will be happy to help. From annuals and perennials, trees and shrubs, seeds and evergreens, houseplants, fruits, vegetables, and more, Waddell's selection can't be beat. Waddell's also offers everything you need to make your outdoor living area more enjoyable, like outdoor furniture, fountains, statuary, a great selection of kids' toys, and seasonal decor. Be sure to check out the wild bird section at Waddell's with more than 100 feeder styles and 16 different varieties of quality birdseed, all at the best prices. And remember, Waddell's professional florists can custom create and deliver that perfect floral arrangement. Waddell's Nursery Florist and Garden Center on Texas Drive at the corner of Millam and 12th Street, and online at waddells.com.
Kalamazoo's news and news makers, too.
Local news is like the most important stuff to me.
Kalamazoo Mornings with Ken Landfear
Your local community.
on WKZO.
We have about 10 minutes left to go, but Judy, our big winner of a $20 gift card to Waddell's because she knew all about beavers. There you go.
Yeah, and actually I'm going to tell you a little bit more about beavers, because
Yeah, well,
April 7th.
I kind of thought you would.
three days from now is International Beaver Day.
Yeah, well, this is why he's talking about them.
Yeah, so well, actually, the beaver carcass reminded me. I was looking at. I always look to see what holidays are coming up that are involved in nature, and happen to see that. So, some good facts. The beavers are very, very good though. When they use their tails, besides as a warning, because they use their tails to slap the water as a warning if they see predators around. They also use it as a counterweight, so they help them stand upright or help a counterweight when they're dragging branches. It helps them support themselves when they stand upright. They actually have a lot of fat in the tail, and that is actually beaver tail was considered a delicacy years ago. So a lot of the frontiersmen and explorers, including Lewis and Clark, enjoyed eating beaver tail and roasting it over an open fire. Almost the same date, April 17th, 1805, in their journals, Lewis wrote, there were 3 beaver taken this morning by the party. The men prefer the flesh of this animal to that of any other which we have or are able to procure at this moment. I eat very heartily of the beaver myself, and I think it excellent, particularly the tail and the liver. Some of those words are misspelled because Lewis was not big on spelling, but they're definitely you can figure out what they're saying. And actually, they were eating beaver, and they could get those beaver this time of year because the bison that they were running into and seeing, and you would see quite a few of those, were so lean coming out of winter that they actually were not worth trying to eat. So they looked for some other sources for food. The other neat thing with beaver, there's only 2 types of beaver in the world. We've got the American beaver, which is Castor canadensis, and then that's the ones we are typically familiar with. But there's also a Eurasian beaver, Castor fiber. And all beavers need water to survive because they get the young saplings, tree saplings. They need that water to float their food. They can't drag them a long distance, and they need that water more for safety too because they usually build their lodges in the middle of their pond or someplace out in the water in the pond, so it helps keep the predators away. Typically, unless you have ice in the wintertime, and then sometimes those bear can, if they come out of hibernation, can find them. They feed mostly at night. And that's usually when they do most of their work of feeding and building their dams and that. They're sort of unusual because they can digest cellulose, so that's why they chew and eat wood. They'll eat roots and leaves and just bark, too, from plants. They also eat some aquatic plants. But they help improve water. They actually help with some of the flood waters and that. So if they can build their dams and make their ponds where it doesn't affect housing and buildings and that, they're actually fun to watch, and they're actually good for the environment. They provide a lot of habitat for other animals. Today, because we got Easter coming tomorrow, today at Waddell's from 10 to 2, we've got an Easter Bunny event. So
So hop to it, will you?
hop to it. So we're actually partnering with Angel Rabbit Rescue. And so you can come get your photos taken with the cute little adorable bunnies. You can adopt one or two if you want. Take them home with you. We got a few other neat crafts to do too. So there's just a little activity. You can get a basket, make an Easter basket, and we'll actually give you a discount on contents of that basket. We can help you fill that up.
Yeah.
So some neat activities at Easter event runs from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. today. A lot of things going on. So tonight, if the clouds break, and I'm going to guess the way the forecast looks, they're not going to have it. But we'll see. Maybe we'll get a break in the clouds. Kalamazoo Astronomical Society has a public observing session, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the Kalamazoo Nature Center. They're going to try to highlight Jupiter and the Orion Nebula. But if it's mostly cloudy or overcast, they're going to cancel. So you need to check their websites starting at 6 p.m. today to see if they're going to cancel. The forecast doesn't look good. This next week, Audubon Society Kalamazoo starts their years-long tradition of Tuesday morning trail walks on their weekly Calhaven trails every Tuesday in April and May. So this next Tuesday is the first one, starting at 9 a.m. They usually figure about 2 hours or so of walking. They meet at the trailhead at North 10th Street between G and H Avenues. A few of them walk the 2.5 miles to a very birdie marsh, which is usually very birdie, around 8th Street, and then back for a total of 5 miles. But you can cut that short if you want, turn around anytime. There's no leader, but someone will be keeping a species list. So some neat activity. If you're looking for something to do on a Tuesday morning and want to go out and do some bird sighting, you might maybe link up with a few more avid birders, and maybe they can help you find some species that you haven't found before.
Oh, there you go.
Wednesday, Kalamazoo Bird Sanctuary has another Birds and Coffee online chat. This month, Lisa Duke, the manager of the Bird Sanctuary, is going to be talking about loons. That's via Zoom, 10 to 11 a.m. on Wednesday. You need to register ahead of time so you get the Zoom link. So I think I mentioned before, I registered several times. I always wanted to make sure I didn't miss the Zoom link.
Yeah.
And I checked one of the emails I got from Lisa. I think I'm registered through like 2029 or something because I've registered multiple times, and she did more than one at a time.
Well, at least you're covered.
I'm covered. They're very interesting because they have folks come in, but they always have some neat information about the different birds that they talk about and all the different experts. So it's fun to actually tune in with that if you have a chance. Enjoy a cup of coffee, learn some more about birds. This next Sunday, so a week from tomorrow, the Bird Sanctuary has a free admission day, and they're titling it Sustain the Vision. So it's actually, they're honoring W.K. Kellogg's birthday and his generous gift, land gift to MSU, which paved the way for the biological station and the Bird Sanctuary. So they're doing a free admission. They said stop by the Kellogg Manor House for a free self-guided tour, and then they'll have docents there to answer questions. But neat way to get out and about if the weather's very nice. To experience that. The MDARD had a few, and actually had quite a few press releases from MDARD, Eagle, DNR. So MDARD's still encouraging people, so clean those feeders. All the migrating birds, we still have that avian bird flu, and they keep, about every week they have an announcement of another flock, domestic flock that's infected. We had a couple of big commercial flocks in the last recent weeks. Positive identification with infected with the virus. So keep those bird feeders clean because migrating birds can spread that around. So keep those clean. If you see some birds that are acting sort of unusual and you think they may be suffering from that, there's a spot to report those on the MDARD website.
And don't forget, of course, you mentioned it a few minutes ago. When you were talking to Judy, bring the hummingbird feeder in just in case.
It's probably going to have a little bit of ice on it.
Yeah.
And depending on your feeder, it may be very delicate. You don't want that ice in there and cracking or breaking that.
No, true. There you go.
So, then you have to come to Waddell's and get another hummingbird feeder. And we have lots of different styles. So what you do is come to Waddell's and get that second or third or fourth hummingbird feeder so you have more spots, because they get very territorial around those feeders. And sometimes they'll try to defend and keep the other hummingbirds away. So it's nice sometimes having multiple feeders.
Yeah, I saw an article, we'll keep this quick because we're almost done, to where birds recognize familiarity, literally.
Yes.
This even includes humans.
Yes, so they actually look for the same location where they found feeders before in the past. And remember that year to year. Anyway, it should be cool enough for these cooler nights, and fluctuations in temperature is obviously a little early for yellow jackets and that getting around those feeders too. So
Right. So there you go. Gary, thank you. And you're into work today, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, there you go. Okay.
He's going to swimmingly go in there. A little damp out there.
So, throw on that rain jacket, go see Gary today.
Yeah, so I was laughing in the way this morning. I was thinking last night was one of those stereotypical days or nights that writers write about. It was a dark and stormy night.
There you go. Thank you, Gary, and thank you for listening to this edition of Nature Watch. Tune in each Saturday morning at 8:30 for Nature Watch. Brought to you by Waddell's Nursery, Floral Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. CBS and local news is up next, and then, a pre-recorded edition of Over the Garden Fence coming up next on 590 and 106.9 FM WKZO.